Okay, so here's what we went over yesterday during the live lesson. We're numbers through, reading and writing numbers through the hundreds place, the tenths and the hundreds place. So our number was 21 and 47 hundredths. And just as though we would, how we say it, that is how we write it. 21 and 47 hundredths. Okay, then we did it in expanded notation. So we take the first digit, which is a 2, times the place value that it's in, to tenths place. So it's 10 times 2. And then the next place is 1, the ones place, and the digit happens to be 1. So it's 1 times 1. Then we add the next place value, which is the tenths place. The 4 is in the tenths place. So 4 times 1/10. Or 4 times your 0.1, which is 1/10 in decimal form. You can do it either way, in decimal or fraction form. The next digit is 7, which is in the hundreds. So it would be 7 times 1/100th. And again, you can write it in decimal form or fraction form. So 7 times 100th in decimal form is 0.01. Okay, so then we did another number together. So 38 and 900. So 38 and 900. 3 times 10 plus 8 times 1 plus 9 times 100th. Since there's no digit in the tenths place, we did not have to write that in our expanded notation. Okay, comparing and ordering. 38 and 9/10, or 38 and 900ths, 38 and 1/10, or 38 and 10/100ths, 38 and 700ths, and 38 and 9/10. So, since those numbers are relatively the same, or near each other, go ahead and line them up by place value, which helps us if you just line them up by their decimal. Okay, and there they are, all in order. So the first number, we're doing least to greatest. First number is the same. Second digit is the same, and of course the decimal is the same. So then we're looking here. And we have 38 and 900ths and 38 and 700ths. So we would compare these two first because they both have a 0, the smallest digit within those numbers. So then we go and then compare these two digits. 7 is less, so it would come first. So then that would mean that would come second. So then we go back to the digit in the tenths place and compare those. 1 is less than 9, so that would come third in order, and then this would become fourth in order, making it the greatest. Okay, and then we did rounding. The same rules still apply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, jump one floor. So the only thing now is you're rounding with a decimal. But if you think about it, if there's no decimal there, it's still the same. Okay? So round to the tenths place. You're going to underline the tenths place and then draw a door. Who's that knocking on my back door? The 2. So what does that tell us? It tells us to let it rest. So the 6, the 4, and the 9 stay the same. And the 2, everything behind the door runs 0 in right. So it becomes 64 and 9/10. You could write 64 and 90 hundredths, and that does not change the value of the number. Okay, so the next one, same numbers. We're just going to round to the ones place or the first whole number. Okay, so underline the ones place, draw that door. The 9 tells us what to do. So it's going to jump one floor. So if you look at this, the 64 becomes a 65. It just goes up one. So the 4 goes up one number, but if you look at it like everything inside goes up one floor, you're going from the 64th floor to the 65th floor. And then everything behind the door runs to 0 in a fright. And just over the decimal, you can't forget to put the decimal in there. So it's 65 and 0 hundredths. You could just say 65 because it does not change the value. So it would be like, because if you're talking money and you have 65 and no change, you just say $65. You don't say $65.00. Sometimes you will, but more than likely, most people will say just $65. Okay, so now we're going to round to the tens place. So underline the tens place, put that door up, and at 4 tells us what to do. It's 4 or less, we're going to give it a rest. So the 6 stays the same, and everything behind the door runs to 0 in a fright. So 64 and 92 hundredths will round to 60. Sorry about that, a little glitch. Okay, so we did one last one just to kind of get an idea of what happens when a 9 rounds up. So 36 and 98 hundredths. Okay, so we're rounding to the nearest tenths place. So it tells us what to do, and it tells us to go one floor. So think about it like this. Well, the 9 would become a 10. So yeah, that 9 becomes a 0, and it adds the 1 more to the 6. But think about it like this. 36 and 9/10, or 369 becomes 370. Like 369, 37 going up one floor. But since there's a decimal, the decimal stays in the same place, and it's 37 is what it would round to. Thank you guys. Bye.